but it'll be segmented. So I'll give like 10 minutes of this amount of time, and then 10 minutes setting up this next one, and then third, because it's 4 different tasks, and I really want them to get like feedback and instruction on those 4 different tasks. So I stop them wherever they're at in this first one, and I go on to the next one. I go, all right, so let's stop there. Whatever you have so far, let's try and explain how these words have an overall impact in the meaning and tone.
Do you have a copy of the poem also?
Of these poems?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over here.
Can I?
Yes. You want a fancy one?
Fancy one.
I got a lot of fancy ones, man. I'll give you Langston Hughes.
Oh. And you have your exemplar here?
I don't.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it.
You need a copy now.
I'll get a copy.
I'm gonna do a sparring one.
Spar.
And I won't use purple because I know how.
Tough days, man. Tough days.
All right. Same color.
You gotta be consistent. So
first read, we're circling important words.
Circling important words.
Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty quick read. We both finished at the same time. Let's see. Let's just count how many words we have, and let's track how many words that I circle that you circle, and words. Let's do C versus J.
Okay.
And we're gonna see how many words I circle that you didn't.
Okay.
And vice versa. So
I only circled 2 words.
Oh. Because I mean, you're the expert here, so you know something I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I'm the expert, but I guess I preemptively chose the most important word.
There we go. All right, so did you circle hold?
No.
All right,
That's actually a really good example. I'm gonna circle that one now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and take that.
What about dreams?
Definitely did dreams.
All right, we both have dreams. Die?
Did not circle that.
Circle die. Broken?
Nope.
Winged bird?
Nope.
Cannot fly?
Nope.
Life?
Yes.
Barren?
Nope.
Frozen?
Nope.
Snow?
No.
Which are the 2 words you circled?
Dreams and life.
Dreams and life. Why?
Most occurring. I think they're the most prevalent. I definitely didn't notice hold, but I would agree with hold as well. I think this is about dreams. I think this is about explaining what life is without dreams.
You know, second, when I look at what you did, the thing I like about it is it's targeted, and what happens is it gives students an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Because say you're somebody who's never done this before, it would take a lot more explanation for me to give why I thought these words were so talented. But that piece of that strategy, which 2 words occur the most, like somebody's driving a point home, you can tell because they're because the rate at which these words occur. So there's hold twice, dream appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times if you include the title.
Exactly.
So you're holding on to dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately you don't want them to die.
Don't want them to die.
And then there's these symbols for death.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about dreams, and then what happens to dreams. It's like they cannot fly, they die, it's barren, which is the opposite of life, lifeless, frozen snow again, it's winter, lifelessness. Okay.
And that's where we can start pulling out this is where they would pull out the poetic devices as far as saying, life is like a broken winged bird that cannot fly. We can connect these together.
Well, before we do that, because I might be off track.
Go ahead.
The next thing you're gonna have to do is how do they impact for tone and meaning of poem?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the tone that if you just look at hold, dream, what's the meaning of this poem? Like, what do you think most students are gonna say?
Most means to hold on to their dreams,
Mm-hmm.
keep them protected.
And how are you gonna reorient students that say, I have no idea what this is talking about?
To track the words that we've already circled,
Mm-hmm.
and to pull meaning from those. If we're looking at the words that we see most often, we see hold, dreams, life, and all those words give us clues or context clues to what the meaning or the main idea of the text is.
Right, so what's gonna be your short question, or your short line of questioning for students there?
A short line of question would be, okay, I'd say, okay,
'Cause you did
what word occurs the most?
Mm-hmm. Write that down, it's a good one.
Yeah.
What words? And I put a star by that, so you know what, see it there. That's how I know, like, look at this one, kids get stuck, it's by the star. And so the meaning, we want them to know, like, oh, you gotta hold on to your dreams, if you don't, they will die.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing students had to do was identify multiple meanings.
Mm-hmm.
And is that gonna require a second read?
Well, they have to, the next thing they actually have to do is consider how these words relate to the context or medium of the poem. So medium, the context, like, so what is the context of this poem? So that would mean that they'd have to know the context of who like Hughes was, and understand like why was this written,
Yep.
and how was this written. So then they'd have to understand. Like,
And is that given to them, like a little?
that would have to be given to them.
Yep.
Because so that'd have to be like underneath this.
Yep. So you're gonna add. Two sentences by who he was and when he lived, where he lived.
Mm-hmm. And even when this was written.
Yeah, like what was going on at the time.
Yes. We're looking this up now, are we? Are we looking this up?
No, I think that
I can
could
do that
be an action item, because even though it really, really matters, I think, are you trying to teach students to look at and analyze poems?
It's jarring. Yeah, so we want to analyze the poems. And I also think this step right here is just to build research into what it is to be a poet and how it adds to the meaning of the poems.
So I'll put a pause on that one for me right now. I know it's something that you're gonna take care of. Multiple meanings and powerful words. That part jumped out at me. That's like kind of a hooking point for me. Which words have multiple meanings? Like, do we think dreams would have multiple meanings? What words have multiple meanings?
I think that dreams absolutely have multiple meanings because they could be good or bad. We could also say hold could have multiple meanings because holding on to something could be negative, it could be positive. I did see when I've actually seen some students annotate this before. They were confused with frozen with snow. They didn't know if that was a good or a bad thing because they're like, I like snow.
Yeah.
So this could be frozen with snow. These words could be misconstrued. But based off of like the most powerful words and their multiple meanings, I think that life is pretty standard. I think hold and dreams are probably the go-tos. That would be.
Yeah. See, while I agreed with like your take on the first one, I think this one, some of the words I circled should be annotated in this one. And tell me, like, 'cause broken winged bird, like that phrase. Definitely not talking about a broken winged bird that cannot fly.
Oh, you're talking, okay. So we're talking about like metaphor, we're talking about simile, hyperbole, like figurative language.
Well, I'm not sure, because it says multiple meanings. Is that what?
So it says, no, it doesn't, oh yeah, it says explain the multiple meanings of the most powerful words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be an example of like, yes, broken winged bird. Yeah, okay.
And then barren field, and then like you identified, frozen with snow. So I would have a second reading, and in the second reading, you have them just read to underline the most powerful words, and the ones they feel like have multiple meanings could have like a squiggly line. So underline powerful words, and put a squiggly line under words with multiple meanings. Phrases with multiple meanings. So mostly phrases.
Okay.
And that'd be cool as you walk around and monitor to see like
The different versions of what they're like squiggly lining.
yeah, see if more of the same. It would be a cool moment to do a show call. So even if you just took a picture of this at the end, that'd be the next slide. You say, well, this is what my page looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Make your page look like this. So they get, even if they miss it, they now have that annotation.
Right.
All right, so you now have an exemplar that's going to allow you to give quality, quick feedback to students while they're reading and annotating the Dreams poem, and they're going to read it at least twice.
At least twice.
Read and annotate.
Yes.
Are they working in groups or individuals?
This would be individual. This would be probably a whole class like movement.
Mhm.
So that I would have them do it individual, and then they would check with their elbow partners.
Are they going to read another poem today, or is this?
Yes, they'll be doing multiple poems. I think.
Oh, great! So this is your first.
This would be at bat, and then they'd have to do 2 more on their own.
Got it. Understood. So this is good. So the feedback that you're going to be able to give here is going to be crucial, because it's going to set the tone for the rest of the lesson.
Yeah.
In your annotation key, you should write that down and share it now. So it's circle.
Circle.
Yeah, important words.
Important words. And then we have underline. We usually underline the main idea.
Well,
So we could say squiggly line, the multiple meaning words.
Mm-hmm. You can have them put a 2 for words with double meaning.
Okay.
X2 or something. You can come up with it also. I don't have to.
I'm mad at it. Then they would have to put question marks, because we usually put question marks for the questions that they may have misunderstandings, or if they're not able to picture what the poet's trying to say or the author's trying to portray. I've had a couple students go, I don't really know what they meant by this. And that's where I'd see like the frozen with snow. They'd be like, well, I thought snow was pleasant.
Kids in Washington, a lot of rain, not a lot of snowmen.
I had none.
We got some snow last year.
I did count.
I did that for them.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we did the see it, named it, the do it. And this sparring, I think, counts as a good practice, because we got to see misconceptions and try the different lenses on both sides. I actually learned the occurrence part just now. It stood out to me when you nailed that, and I missed it completely. So, thank you. Any questions?
No.
One more part we're missing.
What is that?
It depends. Do you have any more questions?
I do not.
All right, so I need you to stamp your action step for next week.
My action step for next week is to have this in a PowerPoint or a doc hammer and go through this with the students. Also, to have this exemplar with me as I walk around with the feedback.
So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep. So next week, your action step is to
Have this exemplar with me as I walk around and give aggressive monitoring feedback.
Yep.
And then I really want to try this this star plus circle thing that we were talking about with aggressive monitoring, but I'm not going to do that yet.
We're gonna. I mean,
I'm just
I can give you some pointers on that, and we can look at that. That's fun. I'd love to come in and model it if you wanted me to, just so you can see it.
Definitely want to see it at some point.
That stuff was fun. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Maybe here for a little bit longer, but then you're off to a good weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. Got a lot planned.
Thanks.
Thank you.